Hi, Steve Gamache here with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review, and this time we are taking a look at the Takayuki Shibata Kotetsu Gyuto 210mm knife. This line of knives has a core steel of R2 powdered metallurgy stainless, and the heat treat on that core steel is about 62 to 63 Rockwell. It's a steel that's known for high edge retention, yet it's not too difficult to sharpen on good sharpening stones. The construction is stainless cladding over the top of that R2, so there's a softer stainless layered on each side for a 3-layer sandwich. And the weight is 132 grams, quite light, about 4.7 ounces for the whole knife. This is a thin laser-style blade. The blade length is about 205 millimeters on the edge and about 8.1 inches, and the overall length just under 14 inches. These are thin knives. The spine thickness above the back of the heel at the chin here is about 2.1 millimeters, and it maintains that pretty much, maybe thins up just a touch until you hit the angle towards the tip on this kind of reverse tanto or reverse sword tip point. And the blade height is 44.1 millimeters, again back here at the heel chin area. The handle type is a nicely done, good-looking octagonal ambidextrous rosewood black packawood ferrule handle with a circumference of just under 3 inches back here at the ferrule wood junction, and it fits the knife ergonomically perfectly, in my opinion. The shape that they've got that Takayuki Shibata put on this knife is a kind of a similar to the Masakage style curve emoto or neck into the choil, so this gives you a great area for a pinch grip, but it's very comfortable on a pinch grip. The balance point on this knife, at least for me, is like right on the money for a pinch grip. So it's about right there, and my pinch grip is about right there. So it's very neutral and balanced for my grip, and it gives it a very light, nimble feel. The thinness of the neck or emoto leading into the handle, plus it's the fact that it's not real wide for some clearance because it's not a tall knife, gives this kind of a delicate, precise feel. So there's not a lot of thickness there, there's not a lot of meat there, but it's still yet comfortable. He's got really great relieving on the spine, a nice curve to the finish, and also on the choil neck area. And so this is perfectly comfortable out of the box. It comes quite sharp out of the box. I'll give it a good solid 6 out of 10 on the edge. And let's take a closer look at the blade. This has hand-chiseled kanji on the blade, and his finish is kind of a semi-polished finish, and this knife has a little bit of convexing to it. It's quite thin, but it's got enough convection you can actually feel it towards the edge. And what that does is give you pretty decent food release properties for such a thin knife. You're always going to get some sticking on a knife this thin and without a hammered type finish and such. A lot of it's due to the grind, though, in this case, and it's got a nice grind for such a thin knife. So I found it quite reasonable in that respect for the thinness of the blade. As I said, the blade quality is just top-notch all the way. Let's take a quick look at the profile so you can get an idea of what it looks like on a cutting board. Takayuki Shibata, by the way, you can look at his site, shibataknives.com. He is a top-flight Japanese sharpener, and he designs the knives and sharpens and finishes the knives. And I believe he has other people do the actual smithing work. This knife has just a beautiful, very, very, very gentle curve with just a slight bit of belly. And this passes my sometimes difficult test of stacking, or I should say putting a few scallions side by side and trying to do some I should say some push cutting and having those not get accordion cuts. And this passed my test with flying colors. I don't always do too well. Sometimes I get a lot of accordion cuts on that, but this did great for that. So it definitely has a little bit of a rock to it and just a touch of belly. There's not a dead flat spot on it, but it has a very gentle belly, especially towards the heel. This is not a real big rocker. You'll start getting the tip dug in pretty quickly. One great thing about a tip of this nature is it does great draw cut. So if you want to draw cut through ingredients like peppers or so on, this works very, very well for that. So that's what it looks like on a cutting board. So overall, this is a very nimble, light knife. It flows through soft product extremely well. Very little resistance, very little wedging, and it's just a really fun knife to use. And I enjoyed using it immensely, and I think it's a great implementation of his vision for knives. So there you have the Takayuki Shibata Kotetsu Gyuto 210 millimeter knife.